What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. Hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Napalm Death, entitled Apex Predator, Easy Meat. This is released on Century Media Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Birmingham, England in the UK, and honestly, Napalm Death are one of the most famous, well-known, influential, aggressive institutions when it comes to grindcore and extreme music. This has been a band that has been pushing it for almost 30 plus years now, and every single time they come out with music, they seem to be continuing on a more consistent, strong sort of path. I mean, this is a band that started off with some very traditional punk roots, and then moving forward, they began to progress their sound into a more dynamic sort of grindcore presentation. Then later on into the 90s, they progressed with a more death metal sort of approach to their sound. And then later on into the 2000s is when they began to become a lot more aggressive, a lot more grind, a lot more punk, and just a lot crazier. I mean, I enjoy a lot of what this band has put out throughout the years. I'm a big fan of their first two full-lengths, Scum and From Enslavement to Obliteration. I'm very big on the Mentally Murdered EP. Even when they were just starting to get Barney Greenway into the fold, albums like Harmony Corruption, Fear Emptiness Despair, Diatribes, to even the later 2000s work, most notably their last two full lengths, I would say, 2009's Time Waits for No Slave and 2012's Utilitarian. Utilitarian is just a beastly record, I would say. Very lengthy, very epic, very creative, and very controversial too. I mean, it's pretty much the Napalm Death package, but yet it was delivered in such a very destructive and chaotic sort of way, as only a band like Napalm Death knew how to bring it. But yeah, we enter their 15th full-length album entitled Apex Predator, Easy Meat. Now, mind you, I had only heard two songs from this album prior to this, listening to the whole thing. The songs Cesspits and Smash a Single Digit. I honestly had not heard the entirety of this album until I decided to buy it and listen to it in full. And after giving it multiple listens, here are my thoughts. It's 14 tracks and it clocks in at around 40 minutes in length, and honestly, this album definitely feels like it's scaling back just a little bit. It's a much shorter record in comparison to Utilitarian, but in the fact that it's 40 minutes in length, it definitely flies by at such a blisteringly crazy pace. I mean, this is a very fast-paced 40 minutes, and you're pretty much going to get what you normally would get on a Napalm Death record. It seems as though they're taking their movement into experimentation just a little bit further here. I mean, take the opening title track. It starts off very quiet, very pulsating, very well done spoken sort of singing vocals, and then verging onto more primal roars. And then as soon as that song passes by, you get onto the Napalm Death you're most notable and familiar with. And I would attribute this to the great guitar writing of the guitar playing and songwriting of Mitch Harris. I mean, he is just such a crazy guitar player. I love his dedication. I love his presentation. I love the riff work that he does. I want to say the track Stubborn Stains. I believe there's some really intricate sort of dissonant sort of riff work being done here on that track. An almost Voivodian sort of guitar playing style being presented here, but still maintaining the grindcore sort of work ethic that this band is very well known for. I definitely love the riffs, the leads, the overall presentation of things. It's just a very awesome guitar performance. Metaphorically Screw You, Timeless Flogging, Bloodless Cove, just some great riff work being displayed here. And of course, Shane Embry delivers another really awesome bass performance. I love his delivery. I love the way the production brings out the best in his bass sound. Very good tone, very audible and very clear, not too overpowering. And that's another thing I want to mention, that this is another record that Napalm Death has a somewhat clean and and well-to-do production style. It doesn't feel too distracting. It definitely brings out the best in all of the instrumentation being presented here. I definitely think the guitar and bass work are definitely suitable for each other, and I think it's very well handled. Moving on to the drums, pretty much Danny Herrera is pretty much one of the heart and souls of this band. Just a lot of intensity, a lot of fast-paced speeds, lots of great blast beats, a lot of awesome fills, great moments, even to the slower elements of the record. Once again going towards the very beginning where it has an almost cold sort of dark sort of approach going for it, but then you just get onto the crazy fast moments like Smash a Single Digit, Cesspits, and Beyond the Pale. I mean, just an incredible drum performance. I love his dedication, his speed, his blast beats, his fills. It's the total Danny Herrera performance, and I definitely love what he does here with this album. And now we get on to the vocals. Pretty much, Barney Greenway is one of the more recognizable vocalists in grindcore and extreme metal and music. And here on Apex Predator Easy Meat, he continues on in the same sort of pathway that he's been doing over the last several records. The inclusion of his very trademark sort of roar and growl in his vocals to a more sort of interesting aspect when it comes to the singing parts, to the more just the very interesting delivery that he brings. I mean, it sounds a little weird to hear him do some singing parts, like on the track Dear Slum Landlord. I mean, just the vocal deliveries being done on that song are just very strange, but yet in this album's instance, I think it works. And of course, you have Mitch Harris doing his vocal parts, and I think he handles things very well here. It's kind of hard for me to distinguish who's doing the clean singing. I don't know if it's either Mitch Harris or Barney Greenway, but I don't know. It's a little hard to tell at times, but I still think that when it comes to the clean vocal aspects of this album, I definitely think it works well. But of course, more likely than anything, I love Barney Greenway's growls. They are intense, they are roaring, they are primal, especially when it comes to the lyrical content, pretty much being anti-establishment and very politically themed. Pretty much staples of any sort of Napalm Death release, and I think it's very well handled here. So, overall, I think this is another solid entry in the later 2000s Napalm Death discography. I don't know really where I would rank it. I still would say albums like Time Waits for No Slave and Utilitarian are a little bit better, but I still think Apex Predator Easy Meat is very unique in its own way. So if you're a fan of Napalm Death, if you're a fan of what this band has been putting out since the 2000s, I would say give this a shot. If it's not your thing, definitely stick to the classic Napalm Death sound. There's nothing wrong with that. So if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Smash a Single Digit, Metaphorically Screw You, Stubborn Stains, Cesspits, Beyond the Pale, and One-Eyed. So I'm going to leave you some links to some tracks that are currently available to listen to, most notably the music video for Smash a Single Digit. I will also link you to where you can purchase a physical copy. It is available on CD, 12-inch vinyl. The version that I have is the special limited Digipack edition. Very nicely done artwork here. I believe it comes with a sticker and one bonus track. There's a sticker right there. I believe there's a bonus track on here called Oso Pseudo. That's a pretty good track, and you can catch them currently on tour right now with Voivod, Exhumed, Iron Regan, and Black Crown Initiate. So if they happen to be coming down your town, definitely make an effort to check them out. They are a blast live. So I'm going to show you the album again. This is Napalm Death with Apex Predator Easy Meat. This is released on Century Media Records. Definitely check this out. And for the time being, I'm going to give this a very solid 8 out of 10. I think this is another solid entry from Napalm Death. Something unique and interesting, but it's still Napalm Death done the way Napalm Death know how to do it. So support Napalm Death. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Armijo out.